I'm Florian. Hi, guys. This is my first time in Russia, and before I get started with the actual presentation, I want to thank the organizers for inviting me. It's really cool to be here. I actually had to go and passport and visa and everything because I've never been outside of Europe. So for me, it was like extra effort to do this, and I'm so glad that I could come. And I wish to thank all of you because I don't know if you see it, and thank God this room has blinds because it's like a beautiful day outside. And if I were you, I wouldn't be here. And probably that's why a lot of people left, because it's gorgeous outside. So I hope that this hour that you have with me, you will learn something that would be equal or greater than the weather outside and what fun activities you could do at this time of day in St. Petersburg, which looks great, by the way. I hope I can see it. I just saw it in pictures. So I will be hopefully traveling today. Before I get started, a couple of house rules. I'm a trainer by definition. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a CEO. I'm not a manager. I'm a recruiter. I do hands-on work. So please interrupt me. Please comment. Please talk. I don't mind people talking over me, because if that's the case, that means that you have something to say that you think is more important than what I have to say, and I would greatly value to hear that. If you like it, if you dislike it, if I say something stupid, if something doesn't resonate with you, just shout, and I will say the question in the microphone, and then I will answer to it. So I will let 10 minutes at the end for questions, but please interrupt me. This is because I also have the tendency of interrupting other speakers when they say something bad. And it's like, no, that's stupid. Don't say that, because people will actually believe you. So if you have more knowledge than I am, please interrupt me, and I will gladly hear any opinion. And I'm not mean. I will not put you on the spot. Second thing, I made bad jokes, by the way. I'm nervous. So when I'm nervous, I made very, very stupid jokes. You will get accustomed to it, because there is no way around it unless you leave. Please don't, because I will get more nervous. So I will make bad jokes along the way so I feel more comfortable. You're there, you're in the shadows, I'm with all this nice light, and I look very pale. So I will make bad jokes, by the way. Yeah, that's it. So if you have questions, interrupt me, ask me, raise your hand so you don't startle me, and I will say bad jokes, so you know. I'm a wannabe cyborg. This is one of the names that I invented for myself. You heard great presentations today about how to improve culture, how to use tools, how to do stuff, and do sourcing and whatnot. And they have different names, and they're called tools. Software that you use, but they are external to you. I want the recruiters to be cyborgs, meaning that you will internalize technology within you, and you will use it whenever you feel like it. You won't have to pay, you won't have to wait for somebody who finished nuclear physics to develop something for you, you can do it yourself. And that's what I want to train you right now. I want to present something, I want you to be excited about it, I want you to get out of the comfort of being an HR person and only interacting with people, and I want you to be comfortable developing stuff for yourself, and I want you to be creative with that part. And that's what is a cyborg to me, Iron Man. Combination of technology within the body, pretty much. So I'm Florian, I'm a sourcer, a researcher, recruiter, I'm from Romania. Any other Romanians here? Yeah, I knew it was just you. I just wanted to point out that she's the only Romanian outside of myself here, so people will look at her more. I'm a speaker, I like tower defense games, I like Android, so I hate iOS. Cat owner, nature walk, graduate, joker, ping pong amateur, so you can talk about me, about all those things and more if you want to interact with me. Again, I'm not the most outspoken person, so please come to me and I will be very friendly, usually within 10 minutes. So 5 minutes, stupid jokes, and then 10 minutes, I'm lovely. I'm a really nice person, trust me. Okay, so what is the agenda? I want to teach you cyborg, by definition, means that you incorporate programming in your own skills. That means you will learn to program. Sounds iffy, right? How many of you have a technical background? Somehow technical background. Okay? So you will learn. I also have a technical background, but I'm not a programmer. But you know, by recruiting programmers, that, 1 second, I need to check the time. By recruiting developers, you found out that they're very hard jobs. They're actually not. It's all about thinking about programming, and then you finding the right tool for you, and then you can develop yourself, and that's what I will be talking to you about. It's about macros, for example. Automating your repetitive and boring motions that you do with your mouse, with your keyboard, about taking information from one place to another, sending images, gathering information and all that. You do it once, you think about it cyclically, and then the computer will do the rest. You'll see, it's quite magical if it works. I hope to God it works. Let's play with numbers. I will tell you a little bit more why this is relevant to think about automation. Then I will do the demo. And then I will ask you to help me think about stuff that I or you can develop more creatively. So why is programming so popular? You can see here, Quora is a great Q&A, FAQ website for everybody, really. And a couple of answers from some of the people there. Why is programming so popular? Why do people enjoy programming? Artists can paint great things. Children build castles out of Legos. You build things relative to your interest. And you do this by being enthusiastic, by liking what you create. As HRs, we don't really have the opportunity to create, to give birth to something. We have processes, 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and then you get fired. And then you're like, oh, I have to try everything again. Programming is a lot shorter. So you can play around with it. You can see something develop right before your eyes. And a lot of other stuff. You will read this about when I share my presentation, and a couple of nice philosophy behind programming. So I want to know more about you. So how much time does it take for you guys, just 1 or 2 answers, to hire a senior technical person? Java, for example. Let's talk about Java because it was popular today. So just how much time? Until an offer extended, not necessarily a person starts, because notice periods differ from region to region. So how long? A month. Okay, a month, 2 months. Okay, so I'm also like 1.5 months. I'm almost there. How many people do you have to source to find that person? We heard a lot of great presentation and giving numbers. How about your numbers? How many people do you have to contact to get a hire? 40, 50? In-house recruiter, right? Yeah. Any agency people here? How many for a scene? Sorry? 100. So that's a good job. You're probably earning more than him, twice at least. So you should be earning twice as much as his. So how many people do you have to contact? And how many positive response do you get? So you contact 100 people. How many of them get back to you with, yes, I'm interested? 10%. In-house recruiter? 1 out of 3. So 33%. Oh, good company. Agency, it's always bad. Like, everybody hates agency, sorry. Especially developers, they always say that. Do you reach out to people without telling them the company that you recruit for? No. You tell them the company that you recruit for. Okay, so you're more likable. Most agencies don't do that because people apply directly to the company and they lose the fee. So creative versus boring job. Just imagine your job in like 8 hours a day, creative versus boring job. How much time do you spend doing boring stuff? Like boring for you. I know it's a how do you call that? A fictive question, but just give me a number. 50%, 80%, 90%, 99%, depends how senior you are. If you're more senior, then you do more boring jobs. Come on, don't be shy. I'm here, I'm nervous, you're not. Just give me a number. 25% boring. Boring stuff only? Routine, sorry. Routine. 60%. Oh, well, yeah, I'm like, if it's 25, then your job is great. You're not a recruiter, are you? Agency. You're an agency recruiter? And that's really cool. Then you don't do tech recruitment. You do like high-level management, CEO of Pepsi. Damn, that's a good job. So if somebody is looking for a job, that's a very good number. So you personalize message, do you personalize message or you just send emails? Just like, hey, X first number, we have a job for you. So I told you, you'll get more accustomed to my joke because they're quite horrible. But do you send personalized message? Like, for example, that tool that was shown, that a video where you showed that you actually saw the profile and then you were like, oh, you have 5 years of experience in Java. Do you personalize? Is your message that you send to one Java developer, is it personalized just to that person or can you send it to multiple people? So how much do you send personalized message? Not just, hey, Florian. It's like, hey, Florian, I saw that you have 8 years of experience in tech recruitment, especially in companies like Facebook and MySys and ad blocker, by the way. Please download it. It's free. You don't see ads. Plug, because they paid for some of the things, so I have to present them as well. This is where I work, actually. So how many of you do you do that? Sending personalized message. Okay, yeah, hands, show of hands. Like, yes, I do. That corner, okay, cool. Agency people, do you do that?
We have templates and we personalize.
Yes, that's the best way to do it. Smart templates. You personalize a couple of things and then you don't write it by hand every time. And tools used every day, I noticed by your reactions that you kind of use a lot of tools as well. Sourcing techniques, familiar with sourcing stuff, as recruiters, I mean. Okay, and LinkedIn, GitHub, Stack Overflow, they sound familiar to you? Yeah, cool. Cool, so what are my numbers, for example? So for a senior Java developer, I just changed this so we're talking more about Java. I actually haven't recruited Java for a year right now. I have to reach out to roughly 60, 80 people, 40% get back to me, 30% of those 40% are interested, 75 are still interested after I serve the role and qualify them, 50% of those 75% pass the technical interview and 90% pass the managerial culture interview because I already pre-vetted them. And that's pretty much it. So out of 150 profiles that I found online, I kind of reach out to like 80 of them. So like, you know, you do a boolean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. People that get back to me, interested, I push forward to the business, I offer, and then I hire. So 60, 80 people to get 2, 3 people to the final stage, and that usually qualifies as a hire, or not. Or not. Depends on how lucky you are. It's like you're just a piece in the whole mechanism. You can be the best recruiter if the company is less than perfect, then you're out. If your offers, the company that how much money they can give to the people is way down, you can be the best recruiter ever and they will not accept. So you're a piece in a team. Let's play with numbers. So writing emails, for first reach out, roughly 80 reach outs, then 60 reach outs, 50, 48, and 32. So I reach out to the same person for the same role in roughly the same interval of time, let's say every week, up to 4 to 5 times. Invite, email, Skype, Facebook.
Telegram.
No, I don't, not a lot of Europeans use that. WhatsApp if I have the phone number, but I don't usually go by phone number. It's also harder to find emails, it's easier. So that's how I go, like 4 or 5 stages on that part. So you do a lot of work to reach out to one person and they get back to you. Roughly it takes me 4 minutes to write something. Also, I'm kind of lazy. So it takes me like 4 minutes to do this. If you really look at your time, how much it takes you to write the first mail up to the end, if you do the metrics because you're tired, your eyes hurt, you want to go to the toilet, blah, 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 and then it's like 4 minutes to do the work. That's roughly 15.4 hours just to send messages to get one hire for one position, giving my numbers, 60 to 80 people. On top of that, you also do profiling, reading resumes, reports, interviews, talking with people interesting, and the most amount of time that takes out of my life, because I'm the only senior recruiter in my company, talking to hiring managers in a startup, which is the most tiring, actually. On top of that, you have 5 to 15 open roles at any given time. So the solution can be beer, weed, or cats. That's usually how it goes. Pick your poison. Well, sorry, I didn't update it for Russia. I'm going to stereotype a joke. It would be vodka, of course. So you can do that. Cats, you have amazing cats. You actually have a museum where cats are present, which I want to visit because I am a huge cat person. Heritage? How do you call that museum? Heritage? Something with an H. Has cats there living. That one. I want to see that one. Okay, so the demo part. What I'm about to say, even though I talked a lot about recruitment, it's not just about recruitment. Again, it's about being creative in automating your work. I just wanted to show how, let's say, boring or hard or repetitive work can be for a recruiter, and I believe it will be the same for an HR admin, for a business partner, and so on and so forth, because everybody works with Excel, everybody works with tools, Greenhouse, or other ATS, or finance, or days off, or I don't know, stuff. They work with stuff, and you have to push information from one side to another. You have to do a lot of repetitive work, usually in bulk. So what I'm about to show you will be useful for recruiters, mostly because that's why I created them. But you can think about them in any way you do repetitive work on your screen. So let's jump right into it, if it will work. I don't have my mouse. Damn it. 1 second. Come on. Ah, how do I disable the full? What button do you play to? Do you F11? Thank you. Because okay. So, for example, do you know how much time as a recruiter you spend just opening tabs? A lot. Like it's quite boring. So let's start with something easy, right? So let's start with I'm looking for a Java developer with JBoss and SQL and banking and finance and in URL, and this is in Germany. Let's put in Russia. Okay, so I have a couple of profiles, right? So one of the things that I can do once I did the search, I can open this tool, which is a macro recorder. Pretty much it will automate, it already automated some of the things that I already did with my mouse. And you'll see what I actually mean by this. So how would you open the tabs? So you will go up by mouse and click on all of them, and it will open in a new tab, and then you wait for every page to load, and then you see all the profiles, right? Pretty simple. And you do that for 60 to 80 people, times 1.5, because not all the profiles are good. That means roughly 10 pages that you have to click. Just by doing this, and by the way, I had to optimize it. Hope it works, hope it works. It didn't work, 1 second. See, that's why doing practical stuff in the middle of a presentation doesn't always work. But it will, because I'm stubborn. And if it doesn't work, it was a joke. Why doesn't it work? 1 second. Did you change the resolution on my screen? No, you didn't. 1 second. Oh. No, it should work. Sorry for the interruption. If I had music, I would put on some music, but I don't. Yeah, commercial, yeah. Sorry, interruption. No, it doesn't quite do it. So I tested it a lot, and now it doesn't work. Let's try something else, and I will figure it out in the back of my head. So let's say I open all the tabs by hand right now. But it will work, because I'm stubborn, and it will work. Okay? And now let's see if this would work. Now you know why I'm so... Play. L. So this works. This one works. No, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Damn it. 1 second. Why doesn't it work? No, did you change the... No, you didn't change the resolution on my screen, right? No. Like I swear, like until now it worked. 1 second. Why doesn't it? Like, but nothing works. Fantastic. 1 second. Yep.
I think you're looking through LinkedIn and it's blocked in Russia.
No, it's not. It's not that one. No.
Sure.
Yeah. 1 second. Because I can make it work. Now it works. So yeah, this is one thing that happens when you do practical applications. The thing is that it will record exactly the motions that you did with your mouse and keyboard while you're doing it. So whenever you do some sort of change in resolution, some sort of change in image, because it has also image processing capabilities, then it will throw it off a little bit. So sorry about this. You will try it at home, because I will share everything with you in a presentation, and you can try it on your own PC, and I will write the guides for it. And now what I had to do, and it looked a little bit cheesy, I had to actually reduce the resolution a little bit so it works how I did it. So sorry about that. It happens. So as you see, it opened all the profiles. While I was talking to you, that happened. Why is this advantageous? Because you do this, you can open up to 50 tabs. It normally would have changed the page as well. And then you just go for a cigarette or whatever, and then you come back and all the tabs are open and all the loading is happening already. And then the next tab, which also didn't work, which I don't know why. See, it doesn't work. So what it should happen right now, it should vet all the other things that are open in the image, and they should be related to LinkedIn, for example. So if I have this, like for example, as you can see here, see image, it should see this image and test. And it's a false, and it shouldn't be a false, it should be a positive. And I don't know why right now. And if that doesn't work, then that means all the others don't work, which is not the best thing. False, 1 second. Let me see if I can maybe find the resolution by accident. True. So now it works. So it's apparently, it happened that it changed the resolution from 100% to 80%. Now I hope it should work. So, yes. So now it works. God. Whew. So it's just the 80% part. So what it does right now, it goes to all the tabs and it will filter out all things that are not LinkedIn, so they're not profiles. So if it was some sort of ad or something like that, it will send it outside. The same thing with GitHub. When it reaches, see, now it goes again. When it reaches Google, it should have stopped. So now I have the profiles here. Let's see if this would work as well. Okay. Yeah, this looks normal. So apparently it did change my resolution a little bit, but now it should work. Open. No. Open. And now, so I went through all the tabs on LinkedIn. Now I vetted all the profiles that are not there. Now I can copy the data from LinkedIn, for example. And let's see if this works. So let's try it for, let's see, 3 people. Let's see if this works. See, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Come on. Yeah, this is what happens. Okay, let's do it differently. I'm sorry it doesn't work, but I will show you on my laptop if you want to go to have a chat, because this doesn't happen because the resolution changed when I connected this. You saw I did some modification and now it works. So I will show you just on the code then. So for example, what this program will do, will copy the first name of a person, then the full name, then it will copy a full tag. So the tag is the, does this have a, yes. So it will copy also this tag here. And then based on the data that is offered there, it will split it based on the at. So all the things before the at is the job, the title of the name, and then it's the company. And if it doesn't, then this red thing appears there. And it's usually the company, because not everybody writes at. Some people put in their local language, or just write like I did, like Tech Recruiter. And then it will copy it from here. And then it will put it there, and then it will make it green. The only thing that comes interesting is that you have to make it cyclically, because all the buttons and all the things that I push are all set here and here. So what I need to do is to hide this row, and then close this tab, and then open the next one, pretty much. And then the program will know to take it again. And pretty much all of this is in one place. So the name will always be here, the tagline will always be there, location, again, Russia, connect, and all the other stuff will be there. If I open multiple tabs, you will see that everything is roughly in the same place. So if you see similarities between the things that you do, if they are pretty much the same, then you just can copy-paste them and put them into an Excel, for example. Why to put them into an Excel? Because, as I showed you right now, you also have to take into consideration load page. Because if it takes too long for a page to load, then the macro doesn't know where the data is. You can be quite develop-ish about it and put some stuff in it so it detects it, like I did with image recognition and stuff like that, which you can do as well. It's not like I develop it, it's just in the tool, which is free, by the way. I only work with free tools. And as you can see here, it has multiple lines where I put in some things to detect the image. So, for example, this image here, which is recognized here, will always tell it that if this happens, then take this information. If it's not here, then don't do anything because it will throw things out of proportion. The same thing with image. So, for example, if it's by accident you let your computer run and it's a first-degree connection and you don't want to contact them, of course, because you already know them, it will be weird. Then it will just not pay attention to it, pretty much. And the same thing with other stuff. This is actually not quite, it's not super complex to do, because you just do it once, it will copy your every movement. So if I open a file right now, and do I have time? Okay, 5 minutes. So let's see if I can do it right now, just to copy stuff. So let's see, I place record, I double click here, Control C, put it here, Control V, so that's 1. 3 clicks, I copy the entire line, put it there, Control V. Full tagline, I come here, I copy this, Control C, put it there. See, it's really, really boring. And then I put it here, and then I drop this down, and now this appears. And it doesn't have the company there. Okay, so I take in the tagline from here, and I put it last company here. Oh, sorry. Even if you do mistakes, it will just copy your mistakes. That's where you have to kind of be a little bit programmer and find where you did any mistakes and just copy over them. And then be a little bit more developy. And that's it. And then I just hide this. And then I stop the recording. And then if I open a new tab, then it will pretty much try to do the same. Much slower. So you have to play with a couple of things, because this is just human speed. You want things to move faster than this. So of course, I will show you the code. So it pretty much mimicked all the things that I did. So as you see, I'm not touching anything. It mimicked all the things that I did, and it just created code for me. And then you just have to be a little bit more creative and just look at the code. Where did the mouse click? Where did that happen? What happened if I press Control? What happens if I press Control C? Because if you press Control C, it's not a press and press. It's press down, and then you press C, and then you open C, and then you open Control. So it's just a couple of geeky things that you have to kind of look over. But as you can see, it's really helpful because I'm talking while my computer is working for me. And I swear to God, if it worked at the ultimate level as I did it, it would do this with 10 profiles while I'm talking with you. Like, that's the level that I put it there. And then you can do even more complex things with it. So that was just a small example what I did with absolutely no programming. So I didn't do anything. And now let's show you something a little bit more interesting than this. If you want, I can open. And what you can do next, you can see if this works. Okay, let's delete this. Delete. And then, well, fingers crossed. No, it will not work. Or it will? God damn, really? I'm actually, because it shouldn't work. So see, it didn't work because it stopped. But you see what it did there? It pretty much opened the page, it found by image recognition where the connect button is, it put the mouse over there, it clicked, and now it opened this page. And the next step, of course, and you can see in the code, would be to add a note, and then the program will do this. It will copy this text here, which is pretty much something that I pre-wrote. It's like, hey, thank you for attending my conference, blah, blah, blah. Your headline are attracting my attention. If your company would like further know how in recruitment sourcing or whatever, let me know, location, beautiful this time of year. And then it will copy all the previous information that I just copied from the profile. And you can do this with everything. You just have to be creative. You can even copy full text. You can copy how many years of experience that person has. You can copy interest. So you can be ridiculously personalized. You just have to really visualize where to put it. I usually put very personal things at the end. I noticed that if you write PC, in English it's like postscriptum, the things that you write after your email, are the most read, because it looks like a mistake. Computers will never use add-ons like PC. So it copies this, and then it copies, not that one. So it will copy this, and it will put it at the end, like instead of location, because it will recognize it. And then last company, and then the tagline. Oops. And then the first name. And then what it would happen next, it will click on send invitation. Then, I don't know if you know it by memory, a page would load. You will have a small icon on top of your LinkedIn page, which would be green with a check. The system can recognize that image and say here on the right-hand side, send. And then you will know that the message was sent. If it doesn't find it, if it's some sort of error, internet connection, whatever, it will just write message not sent. If it's by accident something that so let's say I sourced, and you know when you source you have multiple people. Java developers like Florian Damian, and then I appear again in page 6. And you forgot your laptop running, so it doesn't send it twice. It will just say this person already exists. Because do you know how that is? If it's instead of message here, if you remember by memory, it writes message sent or something like that. Or if it's not, then you click the three buttons here and it will say here pending. So all the things that you as a human naturally know, you can teach your computer to do it. And I know it sounds, that's why I was also very anxious about this, because I knew something will happen. So when you do something very practical to a huge crowd, well, sometimes happens. But I will show you individually if you want, and you can see that it actually works, and it takes you less than 6 hours to create one. And the key word here is, in programming there is a word, do it once and forget about it. You just do it once and then it just works. You can use it for the next 6 months or 1 year until LinkedIn decides to change something, and you just go into the code and change it. And the program, pretty much, as you noticed, you don't do anything with it. You just have it here. As you can see, it's quite easy to read. You have, so for example, you have here if image happens, then do this, else do something else. So it's like buttons. It's just very easy to build. Press this mouse here, and then it's like a slight delay, and then it's another if, keyboard, control, push down, press this, do that, and that's it. If you don't have any experience with programming, it will just build everything for you. You just have to look it and just see what works for you or what not. If you see a lot of backspaces, that means you actually did a lot of mistakes, and you're like, okay, I need to delete backspace because now it will work correctly. And that's how it works. How can you take it further? This system, if you take it a little bit further, can also help you identifying female versus male. I don't know if you practice diversity sourcing, where you actively go towards female, for example, or male for a certain role where they're underrepresented, like males in HR, for example, or females in tech. You can actually train a system like this to identify pictures where there are stuff, to identify it if it's a male or a female. You can take information, you can take articles that they read, and you just put them in certain boxes, and it looks very human, like the information that you write, it is very human. And that's about it. I'm really sorry that it didn't work and wowed you, but I will do a video on this and probably will wow you then, because it wowed me. And I was like, God, it saves so much time. Like, I don't have to send emails yet. You can even do this with emails, of course. You have a smart template. You take that information or you use a third-party information and you put that there, but you're limited to the technology. If you use any sort of third-party support, if you want to implement another tag, very few really accept this because it will create problems with the system. Now you can just create them yourself. Want to change your email next week and include stuff like activities or sports or, oh, I saw you attended Meetup X. No computer will ever know this by heart, but you will. You know how to develop this yourself. You don't have to rely on third-party tools. You can develop this yourself. It's quite easy. If it worked perfectly, you would see how easy it was, but now you see me struggling, so take it as it is. Cool. Let's continue. Okay, so it's time server, it's flexible if you think like a programmer, and it's universal. I just showed you for recruitment, but I just thought about other ways where I can import, like what human processing tool do you use? Taleo, or what else do you have here? Like Taleo is the Oracle, the big one in Europe. Every big company has it. Okay, so you have to take information from something, your own spreadsheet or database, and you have to put it in something else. Isn't it repetitive? Like, isn't it the same way? Like, if you do it the same way I did, like a split screen, you take one data, like name, social security number, date of birth, all that information, and you just import it. Mm-hmm. Adding this. Okay, no, but I'm talking about all the other information that you just gather else. Like in LinkedIn, just a couple of information really comes into the system. Like, for example, if I use Greenhouse, and I never have the CV split the roles that it has. Like, for example, it's not able to count how many years of experience that person has. You can do this with this. Or you can take information from GitHub, and that was another one that I wanted to show you, where you can get information from GitHub, all the details, and in GitHub, for example, some people chose to share their email address, some people don't. And you can put all of this into an Excel, and then you can sort by all the people who don't have their email there, and then you do the GitHub API. A GitHub API, events, search for the email, you find the email, you put it into an Excel, and then you just send a message to people using that. Or you can automate it. So how did I do it? How did I do it? It's a software developer cycle. You think about the planning, you think about what you want to do, you do the analytics, you kind of play around with the system, and then you do the design, you kind of think overall, or you do a demo like I did with like it just copied what I did, and then you play around with the code, and you test it. One of the things that I didn't show you in the code is, for example, that LinkedIn has some fail stops to this. If you look at the LinkedIn profile, for example, it has a blue button that says connect, but some of them have a blue button that says message. If you click on the message, it's just a marketing strategy to just copy you to pay for LinkedIn Recruiter. So you don't press on that, you press on the three buttons on the right-hand side, and then you scroll down until you see connect. So all of these fail systems are put there so the system will work well and you can trust it, that it will not happen what happened to me right now. So you just go outside, talk with people, do interviews while you let your computer do your work, pretty much. And yes, I tested it. I tested it for one of my data engineers roles. As you saw, I was looking for data engineers. And for the last 30 people that I reached out to, all of the messages were perfectly made. You just have to really think about the system. And also never forget about, never forget about bugs. I did a lot of bugs, especially if you play with resolution, what happened right now. Because once you play with resolution, the mouse location changes. So if that happens, then you're screwed, and quite publicly sometimes. Big Bang Theory fans, flowchart, it's always a great mental exercise to do. You just start, next page, what this happens, yes, no, and then that's the friendship algorithm, which is quite cool actually. So you just do that, and then do the cycle, and then think about the bugs. And then you just test it. As you notice, nothing really bad happened to my system. LinkedIn didn't block me. I didn't send a weird message to somebody. You can always stop the system, or you can put a fail-safe to it. Examples. So how would you apply this? I applied it to send emails to clean up my data. Again, you can always delete information which is not relevant. You can send invites or emails, for example. But I can think of at least a couple more. Like, for example, the GitHub one, where you have to find emails. Yeah. Where you have to find emails using the GitHub API. You can automate that. Go into that, Control F, around. It will show you the email, copy all the emails, which you can do with an API, but it will block you, like it happened with third-party tools, because LinkedIn, if you do it in the back end, it will find it. If you do it as a human, this is almost human level, then there is no way for them to really block you. They can just say, please stop doing that. But there's no way for them to film you while you're doing this. So this is one of the reasons why this would work for the next foreseeable future. Somehow. If everybody does it, then probably there will be a problem, but if it's just us guys, then it's okay. Brainstorming. How would you apply this? I know you didn't have the full sensation of what it can do, but did the creative juices start flowing? How would you apply this? How would you copy some of the things that are quite boring in your day-to-day job? Well, quite, what was the word? Routine, sorry, quite routine. Routine in your work, and how would you do that? Follow-ups, yeah. Emails, or for example, you can send text messages. You can put a SMS gateway into your system. You can also add messages like that, and it will be quite easy. So combine the first presentation and my presentation, you can have this without the money. What else? Follow-ups, cool. Reminders about interviews, yeah. Any admin work, any things that you receive by hand and you have to import, if you receive in a different format and you have to put in a different format. So in Romania, we stay away from Taleo, for example. It's horrible. Oracle buys a lot of stuff and they just put it in your throat like, hey, HR, here's some Taleo, you play with it, and it's horrible. But you still have to import some information because of finance, because of marketing, because of all the big data that they use. So I just have all of my information in Excel because it's easy for me to create reports with it. Well, it was. Now I use Greenhouse and it's easier. But I still had to import all of that information. You just can put all of that. Anyone here from Oracle? I hope I'm not offending anybody. Ah, sorry. Yeah, but you know Taleo. Like everybody knows that it's not the best one. Cool. Anything else? If you could use it. Like, right now I'm not asking you, I'm asking you for myself, because if you say it, I will build it. Like, if you have any crazy ideas, I don't mind hearing like really crazy ideas, because there is always a way to find it. Like, whatever you can do as a person on the computer, a computer can do it. So, just one more. Come on, give me one more for the book. I don't know what it is. No? No worries. And yeah, go get rid of the boring stuff pretty much. Focus on people, focus on actually talking with them, focus about talking better to your manager or colleagues, or take breaks, because it's a really hard job. What we do is actually quite hard, and it's quite repetitive, and the value of what we do comes usually months. How long does it take you to get a hire? 1 year, 1 month, 2 months? So that's like 31 days of work for 2-3 minutes of, yes, I accept the offer. And then you're like, thank Jesus, thank you. And that's all you get. If you do this, then you will get more satisfaction in your day-to-day work and also get rid of those more annoying things. Like, I understand that candidates are annoyed by getting like very impersonal messages, and we're tired of writing them. So why not let the computer do half the work? So that's why I call the whole thing Cyborg. It's not automated, it's not AI, and I think that's a buzzword. AI, for me, it's Python written a little bit better. The future of HR is seamless interaction between human and technology. That's all there is to it. And once you learn this, then you can interact with all the other systems that other people present, and you can customize them yourself. Thank you.
And we have some 10 minutes for questions.
Questions? Yes. No, I'm not hiding the fact that I'm really pissed off that it didn't work. So sorry, like I'm very honest about myself.
Relax. I want to thank you for this presentation. I'm really looking forward to working with your slides because you have to try it yourself and experiment to actually understand how it works. I really hope that your instructions are made for blondes. Yes. Because we're not so advanced, right?
No, but you saw, that's how I learned. Like, there is no tutorial. You just do it once and it will show you.
Step by step.
And yeah, it's really step by step. Like mouse here, click here, do that. And oh, sorry, I didn't mention this. So in my presentation.
So we party tomorrow, but when we go home on Monday, we open up your presentation and try it.
So if you open up my presentation, go to that link because it has all the macros that I developed, minus the one with LinkedIn messages because I found it a little bit too. I don't want to share that with everybody. Like if you like convince me that you're very ethical with your work, then I will share it with you. But otherwise, I think it's very creepy to have everybody just instantly message everybody, but everything else is there. And all the documentation and how to build it.
But here's the question. I challenge you. This is all really cool, and it can make our life easier, and of course we don't like routine, but can you tell us about the risks? Because I'm sure there are risks. For example, you can get banned from LinkedIn, or the system might think that you're a robot. What should we know, and how can we be careful about it?
Yes, great question. You don't have to. If you use a third-party tool, it will automate things, and it would be out of your reach. And that's why they get banned, because they get greedy. You won't, because you will have full control about what you do. You're afraid about being locked out of LinkedIn? For how many reach outs? 100? Do you think 100 would be too much, in your opinion? Too much? Too little? 50?
Every day 100?
Yeah.
Schedule it?
Yeah.
Every day?
No, you just write it once and it goes. No, but I'm just asking you, what would be your psychological comfort to say, if I write 30 messages, LinkedIn won't ban me? Is it 30, 50, 70, how many? 50. Then you can set it to 50.
So you can set it?
Yes. Yeah, because all the things that you do is just the building blocks. It's not a system. You actually build everything from scratch. So you have full control about what you do. You're not comfortable about sending personalized message without having 7 or 8 personalized words there? No problem. Copy 50. I don't care. You can do everything. Too afraid of leaving your computer alone? No problem. Go into the bugs, test your system with all the different things that can happen. If something happens that you're not aware of and you're afraid what would happen, stop it. Put a stop, and it will stop. That's the thing. Like, that's why I want you to really be getting excited about this, because it's not you and a tool. You know, a tool, like in English, the word is tool, something external to you. This is something that you will have inside you. This is knowledge that you can apply everywhere. And this is not the only tool. This is just the one that I liked. And you can apply this to everything. It's just an automated way of working. So there is no need to worry unless you do something that you yourself don't feel comfortable with. You can also reach out to people on Facebook. That's the next thing that I will develop. Wow. Yeah, you use Shane McCaster's Facebook search, if you know about it. If you search intelligence SW, and you can find that one. And the only thing is that you have to scroll. So you have to use the wheel on your mouse, and you can put that in the system, and it will send. Or you can use it for dating. You go on Shane McCaster thing, do all of that part, go to women, because Facebook has a diversity stuff, and then you can say, hi, I'm Florian, I'm here in St. Petersburg, and you can Tinder it. That's why you can be really creative with your work. Too tired of screening all the movies on different websites that you have inside your cinemas in one city? No problem. Create a tool like this and put it in Excel, and you can see all the movies that are playing at the time that is convenient to you. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And
don't say that anymore because it wasn't good. Like,
no,
I hate it. Like, I really, I hope I will show it to you because it will work.
You gave us the idea.
That was the idea, actually.
That was, And as I understand, there are a lot of free macro recorders on the market,
yes.
Would you mention several that you really recommend, that you tested and they are the best from your opinion?
Yes, in the link, I actually wrote all the tools that I tested, and you can see it there. I didn't want to present it because that would be like really boring, tell you stuff that I didn't show you. So there are a couple of them. The easier ones, just do mouse and keyboard. clicking, and those are free. If you go on Macro Recorder GitHub, you can see the things that are developed by developers, free, and you can just copy it, but it's quite limiting. The other one that I liked is Macro Recorder, a sister company of this one, and that one I really like the fact that when you click, it actually it flashes you where you click. It's quite annoying when you try to troubleshoot and you don't know the coordinates of your mouse. So for that, I actually put a small program that will show you exactly where your mouse is all the time. So you know exactly where to click, because you have to kind of remember it, that it's there. And that's the tedious part. I know it's a little bit tedious, but if you do it once, then it's done. Routine, sorry. I speak my mind, sorry. Like, I don't want to censor myself. Yeah. Sorry, and then there is another one. So it's this one that I like because it has image recognition. And you can optimize it. Like, you can even go inside it and you can create like if functions. If image is there, then do this. If it's not there, then don't do this.
How is it named?
No, it's a function within the system.
The system.
I did, like it's in the link. It's JITbit macro recorder. It's not free. It's free for 90 days. But if you go JITbit license free on Google, then you find it.
Thank you.
I don't condone that. If you really like it, do it. I can do it and pay for it. It's $30 for life, so it's not super expensive.
Yeah. How often do you have negative feedback from candidates? Because as far as I understood your idea, if you have to make a good selection relevant candidate from Boolean string.
Because yes. Great question.
Yeah.
I think I'll give you the book for that one. So that's the difference between using an automated tool and using something like this. As you noticed, it wasn't one big script that I wrote that did everything from beginning to end. It was just the boring part. So I open all the tabs, and then I, human, go into my computer, and I was like, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I like this, and it's done. Then I go into the other one. So I go into the tab one, then I start the other one, which takes out all the Google ads, all the things that are not LinkedIn profiles. Then I, human, go in, I like this profile, and then third tab, copy all that information in Excel, and then immediately send the messages. So that's the cool thing. It's not fully automated. It will stop where you as a person want to intervene to what you do. And that's, again, just the boring part that is automated. The nice part, which I love reading about people's profiles, and I love finding people that are relevant for me, that part I want to enjoy. The messaging part I don't like. I like it when they say, okay, I'm interested, and then the nice part stuff. You talk with them, it's like, yeah, I work at that blocker, and we have remote culture. We have people working out of 34 different countries, and I work from home, and I sleep at noon for 1 hour after I eat a lot, and it's really nice, and please join us. And done. So boring part is done, just the fun part is talking with people. Any other question?
Okay, yeah, we have time for one more question.
Actually, I really liked your presentation.
Damn it.
Because it was
I'm a worst critic. Like, I really don't like it.
Yeah, because it was really true to life. Because the idea automation is beautiful, totally beautiful. I'd love to love it, but I failed. Because when I try to implement it in my daily life, quite often I have fuck-ups like you did today. I felt like you every day. And one of their apps that I'd like to love, but I can't, is Google Alerts. The idea is so beautiful.
It's really cool. You can also automate Google Alerts with this.
Yeah, indeed. The idea is very beautiful. Let's say everyone knows we're looking for Java developers. The idea is, for example, I put a Boolean string for LinkedIn. Let's say I look for senior Java developers who stated in their profile like they're searching for new opportunities, open for new opportunities, challenges, whatever. And yeah, Google Alerts go through that on a regular basis and sends me fresh results only.
Yeah.
But for some reason, even though I totally follow their instructions very clearly, their results are non-consistent, they're not accurate at all. Could you give some recommendations about working with Google Alerts? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one with this trouble.
Yes, don't use Google Alerts for sourcing.
Oh, great.
Because, no, think about it. Google is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You are using a free tool that they develop, and they don't gather, it's just used there to gather data from you. It's not meant to work well. It's meant to work it so you use it. You know the difference? It's just like, hey, I got you in your mind. Like, I don't care if you're happy or not. Google Alerts are good for news, because news are directly connected to the point of revenue of Google. Boolean, by definition, is not, Google hates Boolean because it bypasses all the systems that Google has. If I just write Florian Damian in Google, then you notice that Google also suggests a lot of other things because it tries to help you. If you use Boolean, Google actually hates that because it doesn't quite know how to help you, and this is how things work with Google. If you think about knowing a person, if I know that you want a car, a Ford Fiesta, and I give it to you, that's not how Google earns money. Google earns money by saying, you want a Ford Fiesta? How about the Ford Focus for 15% less? So it offers you alternatives. That's why it has so strong suggestions, because it's not the point for it to find what you want. They already know what you want. It's about finding how much you're willing to want. So if you use a tool like that, which offers absolutely no value for them, especially for Boolean, don't use it. Use something like this, for example. Scrape every night if you want for 8 hours, or if you're really techie, you can set this up as a backend server, so you can still use your PC. As you notice, I couldn't use my PC. So pretty much when I use it, I take a break, but you can use it to work almost all night if you want, to scrape it.
Mary, this is a good idea. You asked for creative juices.
Yeah,
to create a really working a large service, like we have a LinkedIn Boolean.
But it would happen what happened to the other tool that was presented. If you do it too much, even profile viewing, it will shut you out. LinkedIn will shut you out. So you have to use it on a margin of people that you already know are already there. If you set it up so it runs for a very narrow margin, so let's say I do a search for Java who are interested in a job from Estonia, which have more than 5 years of experience. Let's say there are around, what, 100, 200
I will not get blocked. There are like 3 Java developers in Estonia.
So 3. So for that, you're not blocked. So you have to use your own mind to really think about the systems. And this is what will happen, because once you think about systems like this, then you will think about the repercussions, and that will broaden your mind. You will think, oh, I can use this, and this is exciting, but then, shit, okay, I need to think also about this. So I have to incorporate this into the friendship algorithm, and then you know the whole specter of things. But yeah, good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, thank you very much. And now it's the time to celebrate the best question.
Yes.
So who's the winner?
Who asked the? Oh yeah, the automation versus manual stuff. Yeah. No worries.